What's going on, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 out of 5 of the TOA in-depth guide. In this series, it's going to be super simple because we're going to be uploading the videos every other day because it just helps out people way more to find specific details about the raid of the Tomb of Amascut. So for the first one, we're going to be covering the inventory and gear together with the invocations. We thought that's a very good way to start the series off. So without further ado, if you like the content, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, let's get into it. Now for my gear, since I am a little bit, mid to end game gear, I decided to go for this. And I will explain to you how you can upgrade and downgrade it as well at the same time. Because obviously not everyone can afford all of this gear, and sometimes people can. So yeah, when it comes to the helmets, we got the native slot face guard, and we're now just talking about melee at this point. You can downgrade it to just have the regular native slot helm, or you can even upgrade it to the Torva helm. The same goes for the plate and the tassets. You can just go upgrade it to Torva or downgrade to Barrow's gear. A Vernic Defender, that is as high as it gets, unless you want to use a Dragon Defender, that's also fair. We get the Osmanthum's Fang because it is best in slot in this raid. Lots of stuff is weak to stab, so that's where you will use it on a Kefri, for example. If you don't have this, a Zamorak Hasta will do its place in as well. Now we got the Fire Cape. Obviously that is the best in slot for most people, but if you don't have this, you can go for Obi Cape, which I do not recommend though. Or if you're a true gamer, you go for the Inferno Cape. For the amulet slot, and this switches a lot. For the most part, the Amulet of Torture is the best in slot because the Blood Fury just uses charges. So I would say up until 300 at least, and that's invocation level, I would use the Amulet of Torture. But, you know, if you're doing 300 or above, then use the Blood Fury because it will heal you and actually comes in clutch. For the boots, pretty simple, primordial boots or dragon boots. Don't bring a switch, it's really not needed. I bring the light bearer, which is kind of mandatory for the amount of specs that you're doing in the last phase. We're going to talk about that obviously later in the final episode. And we have the Barrow's gloves. Now why I select the Barrow's gloves, you can go for an extra switch, but as you can already see in the inventory, you already got up to 6 switches. So yeah, 6, 7 even on the mage side, and yeah, you kind of want to get those switches out of the way, otherwise it's going to be 1 extra. So yeah, that's why I picked the Barrow's gloves, because it's just 1 less. Now when it comes to the other items, let's quickly... Now when it comes to the other gear, I decided to not go for the crystal helmet. Some people of the clan told me that it's not really needed anyway, and it's just an extra switch that's that you could, you know, get away with. And I tried it, it's actually working perfectly fine, so there's no troubles over there when it comes to this gear. Other than that, we got so when it comes to this, you can upgrade this obviously with the Twisted Bow and Full Mazori if you really want to. The downgrading is not really a thing that you should be doing. You can go for Blowpipe or a Crossbow with Dragon Hide, but this is really a little bit of the minimum that you want when it comes to that. I sold my T-Bow for Tumukan Shadow because I'm spamming TOA a lot. So if you're doing it as well, make sure to do the same because the Tumukan Shadow is very good here. Obviously, you can use it in all the rooms apart from Kefri. So yeah, really nice. Well, you don't use the Baba itself, but yeah, you get the point. Now, the final gear switch is going to be Mage. There you go, the Mage gear switch. I do not have an Ancestral top because I am also just re-gearing, so yeah, don't add me. But yeah, Ancestral top is obviously going to be the better pick over here because of the percentage damage that you will gain. The things that are really mandatory is the Tormented Bracelet, the Occult Necklace, and the Imbued Zamorak Cape. Everyone who's early game can get this and should get this before any other upgrade. When it comes to the weapon, you can downgrade it to the Sang Staff or even the Trident. I wouldn't go for the not toxic Trident, you know, the level 1 Trident. But yeah, the toxic Trident is the second one I would pick. When it comes to gear, ancestral hat. You can downgrade it. If you don't use this helmet, I would just use the face guard, to be fair. But because I don't have the top, I'd rather have a little bit of extra percentage, so that's why I went for the hat. I'm using Aram stops, like I said, but obviously full ancestral is the best in slot. If you don't have it, Arams will do just fine, but that is the lowest you should go. The rest stays the same, and we obviously can bring a blessing if we don't use a twisted bow. Now, that is for the gear. Now we're looking at the inventory, and it looks a little bit funky over here. When you're ready, you want to get a 1 manta ray, 1 anglerfish, you want 1 dose of anti-venom and a stamina pot. You have 1 dose divine super combat and a ranging potion. What you want to do, you want to drink all of this before you go in. So I'm just gonna show it real quick. It's nothing too special. You're gonna drink it. You can do it in the bank as well. Eat the food, you can drink the potion at the same time. And then what you do, go back into your bank, grab the rest, super restores. I like to keep 1 out because I don't need all of them, and that's when you run in. And why I do that is because I'm using a 2-handed mage weapon, and I started Sabak. So yeah, it's always nice to have a little bit of an extra spot open. I run in it like this so that you can just pick up the bowl, but you know, that is all for the next episode. So yeah, that is all of the gear that you're going to be using. Like I said, if you need to downgrade it, it's really not too bad, but upgrading is always better. Before we head into part 2 of the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment down what your favorite part of this is. And with that, we also have a clan, Top Ez. If you feel like you need a new place to stay, you're always more than welcome to be at ours. You can join us through the Discord link in the description, or just add me on the game and we can talk about it. Let's get back. So these are all the invocations that we're going to talk about. I'm going to be removing all of them right now. Clear all so that we can just talk about it. There we go. It's all pretty simple. Most of you guys have obviously already seen this, so if you're not interested in the explanation, skip a few minutes ahead and then you'll be fine. So we've got a few. Well, that gives some extra points. The more invocations you do, the higher the reward. You can see it over here. The yellow signed pictures are possible drops that you can get. So at this level, there's basically no chance you get any of this. So you can like start upgrading it a little bit, try again. Just gives you less of a number whenever you die. But I like to always go for hardcore run. It will increase the rate by 25. It's pretty much free if you don't die. But to start off, it might be smart to do softcore run. With softcore run, you can always just leave the building and it's all fine. So it's totally fine. I would just do that. If you die twice, then walk back. Then you got walk for it. It's also kind of a free one, but for your first try, you might want to wait for it unless you're with someone who's experienced. And then you got drop for it, and it just increases the time. So 25 minutes is the maximum. So if you do it within 25 minutes, you will get the reward. I can't do that. My PB is 27, so that's not happening. But walk for it is one that's usually free, so I always pick it, so you get 10 extra. Now then you got the next section. Need some help, need less help, no help needed. In the dungeon, and this is also something that we will discuss, after 2 bosses you will get a helpful spirit, and after the 4 bosses you will also get one, who will give you some rewards in the game that you can use to some brews, some potions, some restores. You can just pick those and use it. But if you pick one of these, I usually go for need some help, they will give you less. So 66% is the amount of help that you get then. So you can pick it, you don't need to. I necessarily don't really pick it because yeah, it's I get to 350 easily with insanity. But if you don't want to do insanity, this might be one to be looking out for. Now, then we go to the path ones. I don't really touch the 3 below here, but walk the path is actually one, if you get it down, is pretty easy. So completing a path, which is one of the 4 bosses, one of the other randomized paths will upgrade by 1. So that sounds pretty simple. If one of the maps is completed, then there's a chance that Baba, so let's say you finish the buck, then the chance that Kefri, Akka, or Baba will get upgraded by 1. Just one of those 3. Sometimes it's all of them level 1, or you get a Baba level 3 at the end. That's just how it is. So it can actually like pretty much ruin you, but if you just pay attention, it shouldn't do too much. The other ones will already increase stuff. So all the paths are already increased, and if you combine it with Walk the Path, it makes it a little bit difficult. It's not the biggest issue, but yeah, I would not recommend that for your first attempts. Pathmaster is that was rough. Upgrade them 3 times, so that's even worse. Alright, then we got the next bit, the quiet prayers, the on the diet, and the dehydration. The quiet prayers, the protection prayers will be 10% less effective within the raid. Just means that you get a little bit of damage. And deadly prayers, that means that if you get damaged, the prayer will be drained by 20%. So 20% of the damage you will be reduced. Hello, give me 1 sec, please.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
So with the 20% damage taken, the prayer will be drained by 20% of the damage taken. Just increases the level of 20. I use it personally, so yeah, there you go. You got on the diet, food and other healing items will no longer heal you. Now you always want to pick this, because you don't want to bring any food like fish in the dungeon. You just want to use this. And that means that the potions will still heal you, but no longer the food. You got dehydration, you don't pick that one, because that means that the potions are gonna be, are gonna suck, basically. Then we got overly drained, all the special attacks, use 100%. We don't touch that, unless you're higher up, over 400. Now we head to the room-specific ones. Without explaining what the room specifically does, we're gonna talk about the invocations. So the first bit, the first 5, is for Kefri. I will explain what they do. The Kefri's eggs will be more troublesome. They don't do a lot. Kefri has a special attack, which we will talk about in the episode 3. She will drop some eggs and some monsters, some small scarabs who will spawn from it that will range you. Now that's not that big of an issue, so we always pick that one. More overlords, you can choose upon that. I don't have it because I can't be bothered, but you can pick it if you don't want to go for insanity. It just means that there's a bigger scarab extra. Blowing mud, Kefri's dung is special, twice as potent, so that means that it will happen twice as fast. Medic, Kefri, this one we don't touch at all. Kefri has continuous shield scarab spawning, and yeah, those will absolutely heal Kefri throughout the entire fight. So it's just really annoying because you need to kill it. So you need to swap the range, then kill it, then swap back to melee and hit Kefri. It's just a little bit annoying. Aerial assault, Kefri's main damage, he shoots a ball in the sky, will be like Vorkath. So you have to step 2 tiles. Once again, guys, all of this will be said in episode number 3. So don't worry about it. You can click on it and then watch it over there what it does. This is just how we're gonna put the raid together. This is the easiest way to get a 300 done, in my opinion. Now we got the Zabak. We got not just the head, he will access to blood magic. So it basically means that you'll have to protect from magic sometimes, because otherwise he will drain you. He will also spawn 3 little red blobs that will go after you. They will take damage the longer they are away from you. If they hit you, they will drain your life. So they will stay longer. Aerial spray means that the blood magic will be further. It doesn't do anything if you are solo, but if you're a duo, you need to be a bit further away from each other. Blood thinners, I actually made a mistake. The blood boils are actually 1 big one, but if you pick this one, it becomes 3. Basically doesn't do anything extra. Upset stomach is one that I personally like, but most people don't really like it. The acid pools that Zabak will spawn are more effective and they spread further, and the water jugs are smaller. So if you're just starting out, I wouldn't suggest doing this, but yeah, for the easiest 300, you want to do it, and I will explain in that specific video why this is good. Now we go to Akka, that's the next one, and for some people the most troublesome one. Double trouble means that he will do 2 special attacks at once. Now I don't touch that because I think it's quite difficult to counter. And what those special attacks are, I will go in depth in the video. Like I said, it's a very difficult thing to just explain like that. You'll have to see it. Keep back. That means that Akka's ranged and magic attack will also do melee damage. I don't touch this, because it means that he will hit you pretty high through your correct prayer. So yeah, we don't touch double trouble or keep back, unless you really want to go for a high one. But yeah, we're just gonna go for the 300. The stay vigilant is one that I think that you should do pretty early on. He will randomly swap between attack styles, so that means that he will go from melee to ranged to a magic pretty quick. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 9. It's randomized. It's not that bad, you just need to switch a lot. If you're not comfortable with that, don't pick it, but I would get used to this pretty early on. Feeling special is also one that you need to get used to. It means that the Simon Says, which is also something we're going to show you, is going to be a lot faster. You just need to keep in track where it goes. You need to one tick it. So without feeling special, the Simon Says has about 3 ticks, I think, and with feeling special, it's 1 tick. So you have to keep moving. But yeah, it's pretty simple. I'll explain it all when the time comes. Then we have Baba, the monkey man. We have Mind the Gap over here that we will always activate. We have tiles marked, so you will be able to see where you can stand and where not. It's pretty simple. It's 3 points basically. Gotta have faith. That means that the damage, that the sarcophag is gonna deal bonus damage on the amount of prayer points you're missing. I don't see why you wouldn't pick this. It just deals a little bit extra damage. But yeah, just keep your prayer up. That's all I can say about that. Jungle Japes, the baboons. He will spawn small monkeys. You'll have to kill them, and if you kill them, they will spawn a banana. Just don't step on them. That's all. Shaking things up, the shockwave from Baba Slam will damage a wider area. 3-1 for real. His cross that he will spawn is just going to be a little bit farther out. Don't stand on it. That's all I can say. Once again, we're going to show you everything. Boulder Dash, yeah, I don't pick this, but you can. Some people like it. The boulders spawn faster, so they will roll pretty fast down the floor. You need to destroy some of them to run through, so it could be a bit difficult for people. But yeah, I don't pick it, because I don't like it. Ancient Haste, I don't exactly know how much this does. But we've got Ancient Haste. The charge rate of the first phase is faster. Now, I don't exactly know which phase that is. But I think... No, wait, I do actually. That's just the phase where you have to tank. Pretty hard to explain. But yeah, we're going to take this list as well. And we're going to bring it to you when the video is there. And we can just talk about them as well. Acceleration. The attacks are quicker, and the obelisks will charge at a faster rate in the second phase, so that means that there will be extra special attacks. Penetration, the Warden's obelisk attacks will be significantly more potent in the second phase, so yeah, he will just deal more damage. Then we like to go for Overclocked, and for Overclocked 2. Now, the Wardens will attack faster in the final phase of the fight. Can be stacked with Overclocked 2, so they'll just attack faster. Twice as fast. Right, this is 250 that we are on now. I forgot to pick Walk the Path, and then you have a pretty easy 300. Now, if you run this like consistently, you can go for Insanity, and then you have an easy 350, and that gives you some good loot at some point. Obviously, it's all RNG based, but this will help you out a lot. So if this was helpful, and I doubt it's going to be helpful for many people, because I can already tell what some of the comments will be. Hey, but yeah, you didn't really explain anything. No, I didn't quite explain how the room works. This is just the easiest 300 that I know. So let's remove this. The easiest 300 that I know to do this raid with. So yeah, if you want some specific information about the rooms, make sure to click the next video in this playlist, and then you will be able to see what you need to do. Next up will be Zabak. After that we get Kefri. That video afterwards is Akka, then Baba, and at the end we will cover the Wardens. And with that, I hope to bring you many purples. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.